Why? Zero point zero. I'm trying to copy an AI shadow source. Let's print all these pointers. Boom. I'm going to set it to 1 because I think I can reproduce the problem that way. It crashes, I guess. Yep, as usual. And the reason was some array size. Get diff should show me where. There. So that would be in this file. VI, bling, the array, there. Let's run this. No, that's what I mean, finishing. Finishes within a scroll. Or does it? Maybe not. Nope. This scroll. Let's have a scroll buffer. Got to go to 2 stages. Mm-hmm. 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, and then texture 1.7. Okay, that's the 2 stages. Both at 0.0 and this one is empty, so it reproduces. And this is 438 and this is something else. Why is it something else? It is something else because it's this one. Let's just print what it is copying from. I think this one should be copying from that one. Bleep bleep. Right. So create grep. That's, and then go there and then print it. we are copying from, well, other, and I want to print a pointer to other. Suppose I can just jump to the first call to copy from. Okay, now what are we doing here? It's copying from itself. It's copying from itself. Gotta be kidding me, is that true? Yeah, it's copying from itself. Oh. Time for a breakpoint. Break copy from. Wait a minute, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, so other and this are the same. What the hell? Up? No. Up. I'm calling reset on the shader resource. And that says copy from a shader resource returned by the previous state using slot. But that's the same as this pointer. Highly annoying. Highly confusing. It's the construction idea. What? Construction of a declaration. Next on a declaration. Place back. Yep. So probably we call no, I don't get it. let me print a lot more of these pointers. At least for everything, I guess, within shader models. Declarations and declaration, and in set.binding slot. That would be a good start. Let's use no space here. This, and then just closing it. In the previous one there was a shader resource. Let me remove the space here as well. No, not there. Yeah. And then the other one was declaration. What else? Yeah, I think I would like to see that this pointer will that one as well. Should be enough. Something. Yeah, where did I need my breakpoint? Called to copy from a shader resource. Copy from. One from the beginning. Still copying from itself. I think that we are, this one worked and the next one doesn't. So what should happen is that we call next on, I call next on pipeline, of course, and then we call next on stage, which call next on shader models, which call next on declarations. And that then should add a declaration. So we go up. Would like to see a next, damn it. Yeah, next in declaration. So that was correct. I have a next. Can even go further up. Generated. Jesus. What the hell? Well, it's a next, and then it's not clear what it is. So yeah, we just go down. till this declarations next. With that is this pointer. So I was right. It's calling next on this declarations, which is empty. Therefore, it will increment the size of that vector. So we create a new vector. And then in-place back something in it, which must be a declaration. Yes, we are at 16. So we are constructing a declaration, a new declaration. And the new declaration gets as constructor arguments owner and 0, I0. And the owner is shader module. Oh, didn't print at this point. Okay. Down. We'll do some stuff here. Now we go into the constructor of declaration. So the owner is still that, and this is just a completely brand new declaration, which you just created, I guess. Put into the vector. And I guess that we are now, if we go down, constructing the shader resource. Yep, that's the constructor of the shader resource. Which calls reset. And the previous declaration, it says that is using the slot, would be that one, but that's not true. That's not true. The previous declaration is this one. So why is this returning the wrong previous declaration? And what is mowner here? Mowner is a declaration. Pointer. Seriously? No. Yes. No. That would be this owner. which is at this pointer, which is the current declaration. Creating a declaration. Owner of that member is therefore this pointer. Therefore we store that in mowner. And then we call reset, which then causes us to call previous stage using slot. On the current the declaration that is under construction. What? Which was returning that the previous stage of the set index binding slot. I guess that was also already constructed. Now we are constructing this. So I guess that the set index binding slot was constructed. I don't get it at all. I don't get it at all. So this new declaration is made. Now we first construct that and then we construct that. Now while constructing this, that calls reset. That gets 0.0. And then we call this function. Mark used slot. In shader module. Yeah, no problem with that. Which then calls used in previous stage. Slot current declaration. was fast. It counted 3. You gotta be kidding me. Apparently. Okay. Okay, so now I am in the constructor of the new declaration. It calls reset. Step. See the module, available slots, unused set index binding slots. Well, for the new shader module, that should be everything, I think. So we do next, and I print this, and we should get something with this. The maximum number of available slots. That's pretty maximum. It's a bit too maximum. What the hell? I don't know. It's from the beginning. Count to 3 again. Step. That's where we were, right? So owner here is a declaration. It's a new declaration. And the shader module that returns, not the header module, the shader module is that value. These are completely, no, it's not completely. I just don't print that, damn it. I guess it's the shader model though. I can print the stage of the shader model. Well, I can just print the whole shader model. Index 2 stage, yeah. M stage has is 2. So that is this one. Available slots, static binding with static. Bit mask is 511. That's all slots. Oh, really? Is that all slots? Oh, right. Okay, that's 9 bits. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's actually correct then. Good. So I do next, and then we have here something with 9-bit set. So we do not next, then I get a 1 inside of here. And then I'm going to call on the shader module mark used slot. Owner is the new declaration. So that is the one that's currently being constructed. Set index binding slots, owner. Shader module. No, I don't know. Step. git set. Now we are inside mark use slot. The slot is 1. The current declaration is the thing that we are constructing. So there's this one. D5, D4, C, yeah, 0. And then used in previous stage. Highlight it. That is the correct declaration. This is the declaration that owns 0, 0. Well, but used it already. Let's put it that way. So we do next, and I print previous stage, and that gives me that value. That of course means that it is used in a previous stage. So I'm not going to override it, right? We're not overriding it, okay. And I'm going to return false here. Okay, so we used in previous stage set to true. Yeah. I hit next. Do next and we end up in a random place. It looks. Now we get back from reset. Yeah, well, okay, I guess. That was construction of set index binding slot. This one. So now do step I should enter the constructor of that thing. Intent. Okay, that's the constructor of that thing. Which then also calls reset. Descriptor count. Is that this one? No. Default constructor. We must have the reset of a shader resource. Yeah. And that calls the previous stage using slot to return that same declaration. Still bloody empty. What the hell, man? I feel so stupid. Of course this is not difficult. I'm just, I don't know, I can't think anymore. Where did I do that count thing? Stupid memory. Hmm. 25. How the hell do I get on line 12? I hate GDB. I'm on line 9, I do a step. I really want to get to line 10. So I just returned from this one. The thing does not exist anymore, apparently. That's stupid. Then how can I check whatever is going to be assigned to this? Oh, now I'm at line 12. Now it does exist. Ugh. No, we're copying. We should be copying from the shader resource of the previous stage, and this now is the correct one, right? I mean, the highlighted one here, this declaration is the correct one. Most notably, if I just print what we're going to copy from here, set print static wolf. Well, beats me what this means, but the only thing I recognize here is this -1. Let's see, what do you have here? -1. Texture 1, I have only one texture, so it's always 0. It's impossible that it is empty here. So yeah, that's probably texture 1. And we're going to copy from that right into the current point, this point. So we do step. That is returning the shader resource here. Step. Next. Okay, so now we're no longer copying from ourselves. We are copying from other. And this should be 0. Next. And this should be -1. And it is. So then what can go wrong? Seriously? I'm not getting it. Oh, I forgot to initialize mValue. I initialized MVI And I initialized mCount, but I did not initialize the base class. That's the base class. That. Yeah. Oh. What about mbegin and mend? I guess we never called that, but mValue should be set. Never use that, I mean. But yeah, okay. Maybe I get it now. That's probably lots of F's. Yeah, I think I get it. Maybe. So somewhere I was assigning something. Yeah, this. Quit, yes. So I did fix it, but there was a second bug. Feeling a little bit less stupid now. Second bug. Okay, the second bug is that this thing has a base class, and the base class also has a member. Oops. And value. And begin and end for that matter. Well, might as well define, we'll initialize those as well. I don't know. What is it used for? Well, I cannot access it. They're private. What am I doing with that? We set. Yeah. Oh, well. I mean, I don't know. I have a feeling that just initializing m value is enough. Yeah, now we have, yes, finally. So 0, 0 is texture 1 minus 1, and here as well. Texture 1 minus 1. So let's test if I go to 2 number of shader resources. Because this was a very, very, very minimal. Core dumped. Very disappointing. Okay, how am I going to debug this? Now I have still need the second stage to become non-empty. Let's use the mouse, it's faster. No, still empty. 1.2. Could also look at that, I guess. 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. Okay, so here we have the stage 1 is empty, stage 2 is full. And then we get stage 1 is not empty anymore, and stage 2 is empty. And then we get that stage 2 now uses 0, 0, which is again equal to the same thing as there. And then the next one is, yep, 0.1. No, that still works. Oh, and again 0.1. What happens? Arg. It's incrementing it. Oh wait, no, that's correct. That is correct. This is no longer 0, 0. So now 0, 1 is free. So we can increment that one. Okay, yeah. So now I want stage 1 to become, let's say, 0.1, whatever. So I can grab for this. And now this one is empty. The next step it is 0, 0. Therefore we begin at texture 0 minus 1, and then the next one is still 0, 0. We advance 7, texture 1, texture 1, texture 1, texture 1, 1, texture 1, 7. Now we go to 0, 1. Texture 0 minus 1. Yeah. It's maybe not exactly what I wanted. Nope. What I really should do, I guess, is look at stage 2 being empty. Then we see more interesting things. Where is that? Or not? Ah, yeah, this one. Stage 2 being empty. Meaning declarations. I can go to the top. I begin empty, and then it is empty with texture 0 minus 1, but I already saw that 2 times or 3 times. 1, 7, I'm going to go to texture 1 directly, I think. Let's try this one. So now we have texture 1, 1, that is somewhere in the middle. And then still 0, 0 though. So then the next one also has 0, 0. And yes, it copies its texture 1, 1. And then the next one is 0, 1. Text to 0, -1. Seems to work. It seems to work. Great, great, great. So, now it would be a real hero, then I can calculate the number of expected different outputs. So what is it? I have a pipeline with 3 stages, and each stage has 0, 1 or 2 declarations. And each declaration has... No, this is way too difficult. I cannot do that. Nah, it's probably doable, but I'm too lazy for that. Yeah, I'm really going to change this back, I think, because I don't think I need that anymore. I had a few of those. I want to restore this as well. Let's go back to the full 4. So no, and this is a yes in both cases. Yeah. And then I get a lot of no's, I think. What an incredible disappointment. Shit. Why? No, that was a kind of luck apparently as well. To run into that case that where it is wrong. So yeah, here. Zero, zero, uniform buffer 0, -1. And then here we have a 0, 0, which is uniform buffer 1. What the hell? And here as well. And there as well, and here as well. Now clearly, I mean, this one is at the maximum. So we call next on this, gets reset to -1. Then we call next on that one, gets reset to uniform buffer 0. Then we call next on this one. Well, 2.2 was already used. So it's also reset, and 0, 0. No, different. It's not reset yet. The 2.2 is used, therefore we call next on this 7, which becomes -1 eventually, but also it is in the end. So we just call next on that one. And well, it doesn't look like it's sent at the end though. Do we not have texture 1? Don't get it. It looks like this one wrapped around as well. Did I put my number of shader resources to 3 or something like that instead of 4? Maybe that's what I did. Then texture 0 is the last one, so that one went to, well, strangely enough, uniform buffer 1. That's also not correct. I'm ending up with twice the same thing in the same stage. That's not allowed. Okay, this whole thing is wrong anyway. So we call next on that, and for some reason that's also at the end then. Then we call next on 2.2, which is also at the end. 0, 0 is at the end. However, it should not have even, well, there is no continuation for 0, 0. Calling next on this should already have immediately skipped the whole 0.0 thing, right? Yeah. So that wants to go to 2.2. No, wait, I'm here. Oops, sorry. 2.2 goes to 0.0, I guess. Yeah. That then should copy these values. And that's not allowed because this one already uses uniform buffer 0. Ah. So 0.0 is not allowed because it is uniform 0. uniform buffer 0, which is already used. Then something goes horribly wrong. Although I do not understand why it even noticed that. I'm just calling a copy from. It should have put uniform buffer 0 here. And that's it. Yeah, what I need is a way to create this whole stage, I think. I mean, not that stage, but state. And then just go from here to there. But that's a lot of work. Still not exactly sure what is happening here though. First of all, why am I not seeing texture 1? Is there no texture 1 anywhere? I hope not, because otherwise I don't think there's any texture 1, so there's something wrong there to begin with. Get diff. I did change that back, didn't I? Or did I not change it back? No. Number of shader resources. Got to type it in again. Quit. Number of shader resources. It is 4. It is 4. Yep, it is 4. And I did change this as well. Remember that. So why? What GPP? Yep, the number of shader resources is 4, and I have an array here with texture 1. Then why don't I see it? Did I crash? I also crashed, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not going to crash like this. It's too slow printing everything to a screen. I mean, it took a long time writing to file before it crashed. Oh, wait. I was writing to the... Stop. Quit. Yes. Stupidly writing to my home directory again. I should be writing to nobody knows. History corrupt videos. To writing to that. Maybe then it doesn't crash. No, it's long enough. Stop writing to my hard disk. Five gigabyte. Yep. Okay, texture 1 is being used. Texture 0 also. Yeah. What shall we say about it? So now to go down until that one becomes... How does this work? 0.2 or whatever. 0.2, 2.1, 2.1, 2.2. Now that must be interesting, isn't it? Okay, so this is not allowed. Because now the same stage has uniform buffer 0. But at least it just copied that, so blindly. And then it just goes nicely to 0.1. Yeah, the next, the previous thing that went wrong, it was somewhere in the middle, right? Maybe I should just continue until I have 3 declarations at the bottom. Think I can find back that same point. It's 0, 0 here, and then I think something else here, but using uniform buffer 0. So I've got to scroll down until that becomes, let's say, 0.1. That should happen any moment now. Guess I can scroll fast though. Yep, we are at 0.1 and there's 0, 0. Wait a minute. So now we go back, up, 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 up. So here I have, well, 0, 0 is just uniform buffer 0 minus 1. And it's here as well. And now we're increasing 1.1 to 1.2. And then we go to 2.0, 2.1. No, can no longer go up, so the 2.2 here goes to 0, 0, but actually we want to push the 0, 0 to, let's say, that one must become a 1 now, but no, it's equal to that one. So the 0, 0 goes to 0, 1. Okay. Then below that there is room for a 0, 0. And that uses uniform buffer 1 instead of copying the uniform buffer 0. Okay, definitely not good. Why does this happen? I don't know. I'm getting sick of it. Why? Okay, so in the beginning I started writing this and I had no clue whatsoever, but I started writing it anyway, hoping that it would teach me something. In the meantime, it did teach me something, and yeah, now it turns out that the program is not really suited to do what it should do. Maybe I should just start over. Yeah, but yeah, this is taking so much time. I think I have already learned what I wanted to learn. It would just be nice if this test program was finished, you know, for the future and future references and stuff like that. So we now abandon it and try to wing it, thinking that, well, maybe I understand what's going on anyway now. Then that understanding might evaporate again. And then I will have nothing. Because then this program that should be teaching me how things work isn't finished. That, and I'm extremely close getting it to work anyway, of course. It's just, again, so complex that I cannot even find the few lines that need to be changed and change them. Why do I not understand what happens here? I think the next starts, we call next on what? On the pipeline, right? That's where I start. I call next on the pipeline. And that in turn then calls next on the bottom stage, I think. Yeah. That then calls next on declarations, which then calls next on the bottom declaration, which then calls next on the description count. Okay. Let's write that down. So we call pipeline next. Pipeline next. That calls stage 2 next, I think. Which calls declarations next. Which calls declaration 2, in this case, next. Which calls description count next. Then if I go to description count next, Then we see mcount equals 7. So that's larger than 1, so we return false. So the call to next doesn't do anything. So we can go back here to, okay, where do we came from? We came from declaration next. To declaration. Where's my next? Is that the generated thing? Oh boy. The whole base classes, it seemed to be a good idea to use base classes, but then in the end, specialization. And it just got more difficult instead. But okay, it's the next of the generated, which is calling next on one of its members, tuple members here. And I said it was calling it on. Okay, probably completely confused here. What the hell? Pipeline stage 2, stage, yeah, stage calls shader module. Hello. Shader module. Next. That calls declarations next. And that then calls, yeah, declaration, I guess. It should call that descriptor count. No, descriptor count is inside a shader module. Sorry. Declaration calls a shader resource next. Aha. Declaration calls shader resource. Of course, yes. So I have to go to a shader resource to look where my next was called from. Now that thing does have a next. So where is it? Next. So I was calling next on descriptor count, right? Previous stage using slot. Okay, yeah. So first we call previous stage using slot, but there is no previous stage that is using this slot. Hasn't been in a while because we were just incrementing it anyway. So that returns false, and then we call descriptor count next, and that now returns false for the first time because it is already 7. And dus, therefore now we call interval exclusive sorted blah 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 base class next. The base class refers to this index, and texture 1 being the last one, it's going to return false. Yeah, so we return false. That's all there is. A shader resource next. So this returns false, and then this one returns false, and then we get there. So now we have the declaration, and that is calling a shader resource next. To the declaration, and that was derived from generated. So that is calling next on this tuple here. Generated next. And then the tuple is, well, at first it calls size of arcs, which is 2 minus 1 is 1, so it's actually immediately calling next underscore with a template argument 1, which then calls us to call okay, now we need to know what the type is of that member. Maybe I should have another tab, because if I jump back, it's going to take forever to get here again. Let's make a new tab. So I want to go to declaration. Swap file. Oh boy. Generated. Next. Yeah, so what I want to know if a shared resource is not a vector. So the declaration is, but the shared resource is not. So we were not calling, we're not entering here, we were here, and we're calling a next here. And that one is now returning false. Therefore, we get here a successor set of false. So the success is false. So we do const expression, I larger than 0, yes, it's 1. So then we call it on the first tuple, next underscore. The first tuple being set.binding slot. That's this one. Yeah. Different. Okay, set next binding slot. Next. Calls mark unused. Previous stage is 0. Go to the next slot that is available. And there is no slot available anymore, because the next slot that would be available at most is 2.2, but that's already being used. So this will return no bits at all. So success is false, so we just return false. Good, so the next generated also returned false. So we are now here, return false, this is false, return false. Which means that you get back here with false. We return false again, but this time we return to the top here, and we return false from this next call. Where did that come from? That's the next call on the declaration. Who is calling that? Well, I have no idea. declaration. So this call here is returning false now. So yeah, I have to go to declarations to see what happens then. And that would be declarations. I think I'm just going to call next on the previous declaration. I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's just that, you know, the next, probably generated next, or declarations is also derived from generated, or let's have a look at declarations.h. See, oh, but it does have its own next. Now, let's have a look at that. It starts as calling generated next, so we're still busy here. Yeah, and then the generated next is again calling the first tuple, which is the last tuple actually of declarations, and it has only one tuple, a vector. So generated next, the tuple of the vector, next, do we get here, and it is a vector, so we get here, and we called next on the first one, oh, it's R begin, yeah, so on the last one, and that returns now false. So we just iterate, increment the reverse iterator, and which is still not end, and then call next on the previous element. Okay. So the same thing now happens here. We call next on the descriptor count, which is also 7, so that returns false, and then we call next on this one. That then should turn into texture 1. But it doesn't, because, no, it should turn into texture 1. So why is that not happening? Oh no, it cannot turn into texture 1 because we are sorting on it, which means that the next declaration pre-reserved the texture 1. So for this declaration, texture 0 is the last one. And we don't have any next ones. So it's not going to, so next is also going to return false, which then means that we call next on this, right? Forgot how it worked, but probably, yeah. And of course, there is no next there because it's 2.2, causing us to call the next on the previous declaration again, this one. And that declaration is special No, sorry. I'm calling next on. I really have to know this. I just looked at it. What happens after current shader resource? That is a tuple, right? A shader resource was a derived from generated. Unbelievable. No, it's not. It has its own next. But we were in this one. Yeah, that's what. So this one returned false, and then I call on interval exclusive sort of the base class next is being called, which then also does not have anything, so it does return false. So we return false from the shader resource next, which means that I have to find out again where that's being called from. And that I did that by going to declaration, I guess. To reinvent the wheel again. So how did it do that? I was inside generated. We are now here, right? Yeah. So it goes back to next underscore 0, which is the set index binding slot, and that returns also false. And then the whole next returns false. And then declaration next returns false, and then we call next on the previous declaration. So what did I miss? We call next on the previous declaration. Yeah. We're not calling that. No. We're calling next on the declaration. That's what's happening. Right, so we call next on this. We don't have a next here. I'm calling next on this declaration here, which is the next of the generated, which then actually goes straight to the next of the shader resource again. What's wrong here? Nothing. Not sure. Yeah. Aha. Which then calls we do call next on. Oh, wait a minute. I'm calling next on the shader resource. That's what is happening. This has a tuple of set index binding slot and the shader resource. And we just call next on the shader resource. Yeah. Good. And then we get here, and that calls previous stage using slot. And that should be the case. So it's going to return true, and then we return false. So the shader resource, that then means that we call next on the next tuple, which is this binding slot. Oh, that's not what I want. Or do I? Yes, of course, I do. Okay, so now we have called next on this, and therefore that changes to 0.1. Oh boy. So I have this return. Now I am in the next of the tuple, of the first tuple of declaration. The next of the first tuple of declaration. I think that's in generated. generated. And next, first tuple declaration. That must be here, I think. No, wait, yeah, was a tuple. So we call next and it succeeds. Therefore, we call reset on the higher one, last tuple. So the first one to succeed is this one. Therefore, we call reset on a shader resource, which then has to go to uniform buffer 0 minus 1, and it did, so that's good. And then we return true, and this was the I is now 1, so we go back to here, I guess, this next of, and that was the next old declaration. Where am I? This one succeeds. This one is therefore reset, and therefore, and then we return true of the next to this declaration call. Yeah. And that is also generated because that was called from next. That was this next call here. So finally, the next returns true. So this is not going to increment, and therefore success becomes true. And then while iterators unequal container R begin, minus iterator, so we go back to the second element, and then we call reset on that, and after that we call reset on the last element. So control tab. The next on this one returned now true, therefore we call reset on this one, and then we call reset on that one. Calling reset on this one should set it to 0, 0, and simply copy stuff from there. And it didn't do that. Why? Reset of declaration. Let's have a look at that. Nope, reset. So we simply call reset on generated, which calls reset on 0, tuple number 0, which is the set in binding slot, right? Well, that did get set to 0, 0, so that's correct. But I want to look at it anyway. So I call here, it's not a container, so I just call reset on it. And then if there's any tuples left, we call reset on that. We just call reset on everything, not even checking what it returns. Okay, so what happens then? I'm now calling reset on set index binding slot, I think. Yeah, well, that succeeded, I guess. But now I want to look at it. It is a tuple of. It is a tuple of a shader resource. No, of declaration. So I better go to declaration. Set index binding slot. What? Reset, right? Yeah. Set as const. Model available slots. No, I guess okay. At least we get a 0 here, or the bit 1 is bit is 1. And I'm calling mark use slot on the shader module. I think that's a problem. Should be checking if that is being used, and it is being used. So we return. So in previous state should be set now. Yeah, and then we call reset on the shader resource here. Which then picks up the previous declaration. And then we copy from it. I don't see the problem. I do not see why it doesn't work. I don't see it. Fuck. Yeah, well, it's getting too late. And I'm exhausted. I don't know, man. Bloody program has become too complex, I'm afraid. Plus, it just should have worked. So the best thing, or the only thing I can think of right now, is indeed to get to that state, I meant, like, you see the copy from even being called. Should not have removed these pointers. How can it be copying from this? That didn't change. How can it be copying from that and then ending up with uniform buffer 1? Oh, it should print a MV after that. Is 0. Well, uniform buffer is 0. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, certainly. So the copy went correct. And then I changed his mind. I guess I have to look further. What happens after the call to reset? All things are difficult. I think that what I just did from my head, more or less, or well, by looking at source code, it's just too difficult. And I keep forgetting where I was. I mean, you can say, okay, this calls this, and then that calls that, and then that calls that, and then that calls that. But then you have to go back, and that's, yeah. So I could spend the whole day maybe on writing debug outputs, adding debug output that then prints everything that I want to know. And then we have this transition from here to there with a lot of debug output in between. That exactly shows what is being called and what is returned and etc. etc. And maybe then I can see what happens. So much work. So much work. Okay, I don't have multiple inheritance, so I can just print this pointer of the base class, and then I get the same pointers to the declaration, and I'm passing already the debug name, the class name to generate it. I think I'm also doing that for the other things. Things being collisions gives account interval, right? All those interval things. Yeah, only the interval things. The rest are Vulkan objects. Let's have a look at all of them. They're all constructed without a name, this one. That's not good. I used to print them with a demangled name, but no. I suppose that would work. Next. Just a default constructor. And this one doesn't even have a constructor. Nope. I have a virtual function demangled name though. Nah. Well, that's one way to pass it, right? By virtual function, so I don't have to pass it to the constructor. The manual name is, say, filled in here by something that is derived from interval. Simply with specifying a virtual function. So I already have that. How about this one? Does not have a virtual function. It does. See, great, 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 great. Interval exclusive is also using. Well, it's not really demangled name, so it's kind of confusing. It's just a name, but okay. It used to be maybe a demangled name, I don't know. Anyway, let's look for one that is derived from interval. This one is interval. Also interval. Okay, great, all of them. And I guess I'm not even using this one. Interval exclusive sorted. Wait a minute. Exclusive, no, this one. Interval exclusive, is that not being used? Nope, it's not being used. Okay. The interval also has it, right? Interval has its virtual function. Yep. And then why generated not? Generated. Just a name. Why? Nah, whatever. Works for me. This only gets passed. So now suppose I want to print when the reset is being called on anything that is derived from generated. That would be this function. And then I can print on whatever channel, notice, a name reset is being called. And I do also need this pointer, but I can just simply use this pointer of the base class, because that should be the same as the derived class. And the next of the generated, same thing. And while I am edit, nah, let's not do that one yet. Or shall I do it? Nah. Just reset the next. But maybe, you know, I need to also see this, because reset underscore is calling itself recursively or not. Yeah, here, it's calling itself recursively. So that's kind of confusing if you don't see that. So I think I'm going to use that. Just print that as well. The more debug output, the better. So this then is name, whatever, reset underscore. And then, yeah, an I here. Yep. So now we have that one as well. And I want to call... I want to print the same thing for next. For next underscore rather. Right. And then we do the interval stuff. Interval. Reset. And I would indeed go like that. And then I think I've got this pointer for the reset underscore and the next underscore. Even though it is obvious which one it is. But yeah, I don't know. Shall I add it? Yeah, maybe also print changes, I don't know. Not sure yet. Not sure. Oh, I do have this pointer. Okay. also already has a this pointer. And this one does print that the value changes. Now then, might as well add it to the other one as well. Although, you know, I could set the result value here. So value went to value, and there the value goes from that value to the new value. Although I'm not really interested in printing that, if then after that we return false, but guess maybe I should print as well if next returns false or not. Dang. So now I did it. Yep, I think so. Okay, let's do everything as in continued, control flag, and then as you put an equal sign here, and then at the end we print Boolean result equals whatever, let's return result dout dc finish comma result. I'm gonna put in standard bool alpha all of that, I think. No. Next. Same thing here. Bool result is that. Return results. Generated. Bool result is that. Return results. I have got the flag at the other one, or not. Continue CF. Yeah, DC finish results equals. This all looks good. I'm going to go back to interval first. So here there's no continued or anything. Alpha results. I got all of them now. didn't get all of them. I mean, in these 3 there. Let's try to compile it. Wow, amazing. Yeah, and then everything else, right? Let me do it per column. I don't know where my next is, so I'll just edit everything. And then I have to do a lot of stuff. So out entering DC notice a reset with this pointer. Let's first do reset. Next, reset. Reset, next, reset, print. This is binding. Okay, I already have it. This one. With this pointer and all. Wait, this is not reset. Excuse me. Next. Wait. I think I lost my next. Reset, next. There's no reset there. It's derived from the base class, so I don't have the reset. Okay. Forget it. Again, now go to next. Next, and then equals continued gf. Oh, that's a lot. Maybe I should use a boolean here. I don't know. If yeah, I can do that. Boolean result. Oops. Can do else. And the default. So equals false. That was this one. Return result. And then this is already this one we must set it to true. Result is true. Result is true. And the out DC finish results, I guess, right? Oh wait, standard bool alpha. Yeah. Okay, I don't know. I'll put it in. Doesn't do anything, but now what? I think I have this one, and we didn't have any other nexus, I think. There's a header file, nothing here. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing anywhere. Next batch, shall I just do everything? Because there are not that many, maybe. I don't know. I think if I do everything, it's in the end it's going to be more efficient. And I should have, well, just type it again in again. To reset. We don't have, well, we don't have a reset. Next, they always go together. So I'll just search for one of them. Go together, right? So where's my reset? Oops, reset. Oops, that's what. Well, you say they always go together, and bang, they don't. Out, entering DC, notice, comma, declarations, next, with a given DS pointer. Equals, and then boolean result equals true, I think, and then if not, no, I hope I did do that right. I think it is. See if it makes sense. If not, next. So if next was true, then we do not enter this and we should return true. Yay, that worked. Otherwise, if we are over the limit, then we should return false, or works also. And otherwise, for all we should return true. Yeah, we add one. Yeah, otherwise we add something. Okay, that makes sense. Let me copy this line. Next. And this is my reset. Okay. Kind of lame to have that here. Next. Next. We have them here. Result is true. Return results. If that, then result is false. Else return, else result stays true. So much work. Why the hell does this thing have a reset? En dan not gewoon die reset ungenerated? I guess it doesn't do the same thing, but no, it's not doing the same thing. So yeah, that's correct. The out entering DC notice. Descriptor layout. Set. And next. Entering, we see now this continued CF, comma, descriptor set layout, next, this pointer, there's a result, DC finish, comma, result, return results. If generated next, well, the true we already have true, so I can do not. And then here we have false or else. The same thing, right? Result is false. No, we already had that code, I think. Next. No reset here. No reset here. No reset here. No reset here. Okay, that's going all nice and quick. Pipeline layout. Yeah, I'm not interested in pipeline layout yet, actually. Now I think about it. Although while I'm busy, I might as well do it. Entering DC notice. Pipeline layout. Reset. And then this again. Oh my god, so annoying. Zip. Next. Zip. Equals. And boolean result is true. Return a result. And the out is finish. Result. Oops. And again. Blah. And that means that we only do that when not. Otherwise we return. Yeah, so if next returns true, then we just return true. And if it returns false, then we do this. Which means that I'm going to use an else here, I think. It's false. Missing a continued here. CF. I'm gonna do a quit. 12 more files. My God. God, I hate that. Reset whether continued. Nah. Simply pausing that. And here we have continued. Print an MVI. Maybe that would be nice to do actually. Now I think about it. Yeah. I think. Next. What is this? State of stage flag beach. Next. Continued CF. Boolean result equals return result dout dc finish comma result the standard bool alpha format. Got it. Nee, dan kan we quit. 2 more files. Now we're getting there. 1 more file. Reset. No reset. We're done. Does that compile? No, of course it doesn't compile. Continued. Look at the chat. Nobody warned me. No, of course not. Bing. Oh, wait a minute. There. Continued CF. How about now? Huh? I'm good. especially when it works. Analysis. Let's write it to a file because, no, let's not write it to a file. Let's just look what happens. Crash, crash. I'm not that good. Does he finish without a corresponding continued CF? Or calling the out DC finish more often than its corresponding one? Note that a wrong DC finish doesn't have to be the one that we coordinated on if two or more are nested. Now, let's find them. So, what the hell is this? And I hear again. I don't get it. Oh, that's the unfinished, sorry. Unfinished 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. And then entering 2 spaces. So I guess we have here 2 spaces for the entering and 4 spaces for the unfinished. Unfinished, one is again 6, right? Normal entering, oops, that's 2, and then again 6 because this is unfinished, again 2, and then we get equals and no unfinished. I think I found it. Well, at least that one's telling something, you know. Oh, declarations next is the one. Well, yeah, all the equal signs should be unfinished, and from what I can see here is the rest is okay, at least from what is being printed. Continued CF. I think we got it. Not that many works for all that timing. Okay. Now with all those dis pointers, what the hell is that dis pointer doing here? This is so weird. Shader model as well. Pipeline, I guess the pipeline is on the stick. Well, I guess that's not a problem. Anyway, I should print, yeah, all the dis pointers here as well. Otherwise I still don't know what they're referring to. Yeah, declaration next, and then yeah, which declaration? So it would be nice if all my green stuff, which are the types, also printed their own dis pointer. And then we can start to look at it, but not today. I'm so going to stop. That is, I'll add the dis pointers again to all these things. And that can't be too hard, because say you grab for pipeline, then you see color begin. Could do grab, well, what the hell, I can just do grab project sources, color begin, and you have all of them. Stage, interval exclusive, pipeline layout, well, all of them. Because that's what gives my type color, my type's color. So that was easy to find that back. And then I want to replace, I think that most of them end in type color end with the brace catenated to it. So whatever just type, substitute that with itself, but then a little bit different, namely quote Well, this pointer, right? So we add that, and then a this pointer, and then closing brace. I think no spaces there. Looks good to me. To next, and then I have to look for column begins, good enough. And then repeat that. And it didn't work. Oh, because it's a single quote now. Gotta be kidding me. What? Oh. Oh, like that. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, okay. No. I have to do it by hand. Because... Oops. Bing, boing. This. Maybe I have a better idea. Depends on what next we get. Well, at least this one is gonna work. It's even highlighted already. Next. Also. Next. Also. Okay, might as well all this work. Next. Next. And we have another one again. I'll just do this one by manually then. Okay, I'll do it by manually, okay. Manually as in lib, bleep. All this. Close. Like that. That works. Next. Again? Dude, how many do I have to do like that? Because otherwise I should just automate it as well, of course. Lib close, yeah, right, I'll do 3. Next. So inefficient. Next. How many of these files do I have? And again, 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 and again. Quit. How many files? What was the last file? No. Next. Yeah, that was the last file. What a great all make. And no errors. And compile errors, I mean. Analysis. Lots of debug output. Too much debug output. Time for going to bed. Totally, yeah. I'll have a look at this. I'll continue debugging tomorrow, I guess. At least I have a lot of debug output now. Nobody likes this, but hey, you can see it. This declaration gets next called. What? Okay. Is this confusing? Oh, declarations. Oh, declarations has the same this pointer as... No. It's still declarations. Declarations. Yeah. I'm confused. Why would I call next on declarations? and then immediately call next on declarations again. Why? Twice in a row on the same thing. Makes no sense whatsoever. Oh, it does make sense. No, it does not make sense. Yes, it makes sense. This is generated. This is the actual declarations, which then starts with a call to the base class next, which is so stupid to print the demangled name followed by next. So it looks like the same function, but it's not. Highly annoying, highly annoying. Confusing as well, especially when the this pointers are the same. Yeah, that's what's happening. Maybe I should improve that, I'm not sure. At least I hope so. Yeah, here, see, it calls the next. That's what it begins with. I don't know. I'm going to stop. I'll see you tomorrow. Good evening.